Welcome to the Dope Dad Podcast. This is an unscripted journey for those who are invested in parenting. There's no judgment, there's no BS, just honest conversation about what it really means to be a dad today. It's raw, it's real, and it's unapologetically dope. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the show. This is the Dope Dad Podcast. I'm your host, OJ, and today is Friday the 13th. Shit's going down. I brought a boy that I've known for, we did the math, about 9 years. We've got some pretty crazy history. We're going to dive into all that. I want to introduce my homeboy, Dallas. Yeah, good talk, man. So this is Dallas. We are going to dive into a whole slew of shit, man. So Dallas reached out to me probably about, I don't know, man, maybe a month ago. And was like, hey, dude, I don't know if you remember me. I'm like, fuck yeah, of course I remember you, bro. We immediately kicked it off, connected, went and had some coffee. And the connection that Dallas and I had was pretty interesting. I mean, we worked indirectly with a couple different locations. And then something kind of catastrophic happened with him, and he went dark, man. He just he vanished for a while. And that was kind of the topic of the discussion for us to kind of reconnect, is kind of how we had last engaged. And his life's changed dramatically since then, man. So I'm really hyped to get him back into my life, onto the show, to be a participant. He's a father. He's got 3 kids in his life, man. I'm going to take these masks off. We're going to fucking dive right into it. You good?
Let's do it.
Let's run it. Unveil yourself.
Oh, yeah. It's better,
and
huh?
Now you can breathe.
Now I can breathe.
Hell yeah, man.
Yeah.
Welcome to the show, dude.
Hey, I'm excited. I'm excited.
I'm happy to have you here, bro.
Yeah.
It was really hard to breathe in that fucking mask. I'm not
It was a
gonna
little
lie.
warm.
Yeah. Not to mention, 5:45, dude, and it's probably still 105 outside.
It's warm.
AZ, baby.
100 days of 100.
Yeah, man. So, I guess, dude, through the conversation of getting you back in my life, I didn't even ask you, how did you see this fucking show? How did this whole thing come to be?
Instagram, friends with Kiefer.
Okay,
and
dope.
it just kind of how they have the new feature where if you're friends with something and it's tagged with 2 other people, it still shows you.
Okay, so it popped up on the feed.
It popped up, and I literally was peeing my pants excited, man.
That's
I
dope.
haven't seen you in so long, and
dude.
I love Kiefer too. He's hilarious, man. So
Yeah.
I was super stoked to see both of you on it, listen to it, and then,
Yeah, okay.
reached out to you.
Cool, man. I love that, dude. Yeah. I mean, not much had changed with me, bro. It's the same place of employment, you know what I mean? The same grind, just new ambitions and new desires, man. And obviously, you and I connected pretty early on in the relationship around parenting. You were a relatively young parent. I had young children, and we kind of clicked on that. Not to mention, you just had good vibes, and you were a cool motherfucker. I always saw you around work and stuff. So, yeah, man, I guess a little bit about yourself, man, for the people that are watching, dude. Talk a little bit about your kiddos, their ages, what's going on in your life, bro.
Yeah, so I got 3 kids. Oldest stepdaughter's 22. Graduating from University of Oregon soon. Actually going to go see her this weekend.
Yeah,
Super
you leaving
proud of
tomorrow
her.
for
I'm leaving
graduation,
tomorrow
huh?
morning.
That's so dope.
So excited. I've known her. She's been in my life since she was 7.
Yeah.
And I have my daughter who is 13. She will be 14 this August. Just finished middle school, about to go into high school.
Yeah, I got one the same age.
So, this gray hair is going quick. And then my son's 11. So that wraps it up. Yeah.
Oh yeah. And then so when I knew you originally, man, this is circa, it's 2025 now, so it's probably 2015, 16 that we last were connected.
About, yeah.
Yeah. And the last time I saw you, man, I cruised into Grimaldi's. I was picking up some pies, man. You were working there, local pizza shop here in Arizona, and your life had just fucking changed dramatically, man.
Yeah, that had to be probably about 2017, because it was September 16th, 2016 that my life changed dramatically. But my fiance at the time, Tasha, we were together 8 years, mother of my children. Kiala's mom, she passed away in a car accident in September 16th, 2016. And yeah, man, my life flipped upside down, brother.
Yeah. I mean, you comfortable talking about the whole thing?
Yeah.
So you're at work.
So I was at work. We were together 8 years, engaged 5. had, 3 beautiful children. We were living in Gilbert. Kids were going to Gilbert public schools. I was usually bartending 2, maybe 3 spots because I wanted to keep her at home. That was kind of our goal, is to have a...
So she was an at-home mom?
She was an at-home mom.
Yeah.
And she loved it. She was the best mom in the world. And that was our goal. So I worked 2 jobs, maybe 3. Did the whole American dream. I went to work, she took care of the house, and we were a good team.
Yeah.
But that day, I remember it was a good morning. I was just going to one job up in Scottsdale, and one of my homies from California surprised me. I've known him since I was in kindergarten, and he comes out here every so often, and so he surprised me. It was a great lunch. She was chatting me up a little bit. Lunch was over. Had a little break, time to go to second gig, and in that little break, I got this weird text that kind of just looked over it. It said something like, "Have your kids," or I don't even remember. And I was weirded out, but then it just kind of said 911, your kids were in an accident. And I called, and it was the paramedics calling me, and my kids were in an accident. So they let me know it was Gilbert Baseline, and my kids were fine. They literally no scratches on them, so they needed a parent to come release them. I let them know I was 15, 20 minutes away, but I booked it.
At that time, did you know that they were with your fiance?
Yeah. She was picking them up from school. It was a traditional, I believe it was Friday, 3:30. She just grabbed them from school. She was going home. Gilbert Baseline, at intersection we go through 2-3 times a day. She's taking a left. I guess it was technically her fault, they said, but she was T-boned, all on the driver's side. So all 3 kids were in the car. Kiala was in the front seat. She did get taken at Phoenix Children's Hospital. Bumps and bruises, but nothing too critical. And I think Easton might have had, a scrape from the front seat on his chin, but the kids were released. So I couldn't even get down there fast enough. So my mom grabbed the kids. Mm-hmm. They released them to my mom, and she took them to her house. I went down and kind of just saw the scene of the crime. I saw the car, and then they let me know that my fiance was transferred to Chandler Regional. Mm-hmm. So I rushed over there.
Did they give you any information, or at this point you're still flying blind, like you don't even know what the fuck's going on?
I just know that they took her to the hospital. That's it. And the car was smashed up pretty bad.
I was going to say visual on the car. I mean, are you thinking that it's awful? Or are you thinking that
yeah. I'm thinking it's awful. Not as bad as what turned out, but pretty bad. I mean,
but they're not able to give you any information.
Yeah. So I book it down there, and one of the employees kind of puts me in a separate room and is talking to me, letting me know what's going on. Maybe he's trying to get me back there. The doctor came out and explained, what happened. So she was bleeding internally, and they were, doing a blood transplant on her. Broken hips, other broken, leg probably, but that was like their least concern. And then she had a torn aorta. So the seatbelt actually tore her heart, and they were waiting on a second opinion from the cardiologist. So they let me go in and see her. And she just asked me twice how the kids were. She was in a lot of pain. I think I was just in shock. There was, seeing a blood bag. She's just screaming in a lot of pain. It felt like I was in a movie. Like, it literally, you feel numb. You're just, you're there, but you don't feel there almost. So I don't even really know if it was like 15 seconds or a minute I was in there, but then they needed to move her to ICU. So I walked with them until I couldn't anymore. They put me upstairs in a waiting room. I was alone, so family's calling me, trying to get updates. My mom has a kid, so she can't come. And just kind of talking to my brother, and then the doctors come out and they take me into a room, and it's Grey's Anatomy. They give you that doctor talk where you pretty much are like, so you're saying she's dead, right? Because you don't know what they're saying, but they said yes. So they said she had a seizure while they were transporting her, and her heart tore and bled out, and they tried for 20 minutes to revive her. So they said they were going to clean her up and let me go see her, hang out with her. And I asked to call her mom, but they said they legally had to do it. So they called her mom, and I was in the room. So that was pretty hard to hear because, I could hear her mom cry through the phone in the room. And then my stepdaughter called me and kind of knew something was wrong, and I had to tell her, and it just broke my heart. So they cleaned her up, and I went in and sat with her, held her hand, talked to her for God knows how long. And then I had no clue what to do. Went home, and kids were asleep already. So family was talking to me, calling, but man, I was just in shock. And then, we had the service. I think she passed away Friday night. We had the service like Tuesday. So it turned around pretty fast. Her family was out from Washington on Saturday. We had the service by Tuesday. Bunch of family, friends in town. All kind of after that, Friday, everybody kind of went home and back to their own lives, and I had to learn my new normal. I had to let the dust settle, and it took a long time. I don't think I went back to work for like 3 months. That's all a blur. I still don't really remember that. Mm-hmm. I just know I had a tribe that was there behind me. And on a second note of that, I got sober 4 months before she passed, for her and the kids. And so I'm still 9 years sober for the kids, just and her. So, some good does come out of that, but became a single dad, and that's hard, man. It's the hardest job in the world.
Single parent.
I've been in this restaurant industry like over 20 years. You always work with single moms, right? They are the strongest people in this world.
Yeah.
And I give it to them, man. It's hard. I have a beautiful girlfriend now of 3 years. Actually, today is our 3-year anniversary.
No shit?
Yeah.
Bro.
I know.
I feel bad now that I scheduled it today.
No. We're good. We're just getting ready for this trip tomorrow. But she's amazing with the kids. She's lets the story live on. She puts, pictures up of Tasha. She is the one that planned this trip to go see Kiala, so she's awesome. The kids love her, I love her. She's part of it, our family.
Yeah.
And it's a godsend, because I was single parent for 5 years, and I don't know how much longer I could do it, especially in this world, Yeah. So it's kind of a quick version of the story, I guess, but I can go into further detail. And
I mean, dude, there's so many things already, I guess, like questions and just that's a lot, bro. Especially because if you have a partnership, typically at a young age, man, I mean, you expect catastrophic things to happen in your 60s or 70s, right? And it's like, when people have had declining health and stuff like that, you don't expect something catastrophic to happen like that, right? Like I'm at work. Mm-hmm. I'm at work. Like, how could this already happen? Like, what are you talking about? We still have things to do. Like, there's still things that have to be said. I can imagine that when the dust settled and people are leaving and have come to Arizona and then gone and you're left to your own devices, you're looking at a blank canvas, like you don't know what the fuck to do, huh? Like where to
Oh,
pick
yeah.
up the pieces and
I
where to take
had
your first step.
no clue. I mean, luckily, my aunt, luckily is probably a bad word, but she lost her husband to a freak accident a while ago. So she kind of knew what was going to happen. You know, you have your tribe come back you up, but then once the dust settles, you're sitting there not knowing what to do. So she actually came after everybody left to help out. And that was she knew. And that was a lot because everyone's there and, you know, for however long you need it, but they have to go back to their lives too. So that was finding the new norm. Yeah. And it was, you know, the kids were 5 and 2.5. So Milani was elementary school. So that was just when school started.
Yeah,
so,
5's like kinder, right?
Yeah. I had to, you know, be the parents drop off now and the parents pick up and learn
in
that
between.
and then work. And I was a bartender forever. So it was like, am I going back into this industry? Can I work at nights? And it was a lot to learn. And I didn't do well. I can tell you that. I didn't work the right jobs. I didn't, you know, I was struggling with money. Car got repoed one time, you know. I'm living in a little house in Mesa. Like, struggle was real, man. It's like you look at your bank account and you see $300 and you got 2 kids and you're just like, what's next? You know, you're lost. My mom was there though. My mom helped pick me up anytime I needed.
She out here in Arizona?
She is. Yeah.
Dope.
Yeah, she's 10 minutes away. She's a godsend. She's amazing. I wouldn't be where I'm at without her. Yeah, but you just you learn. I don't know.
You adapt.
You adapt. Just like someone took your leg, you know, you adapt. You learn. And it's going to be 9 years this September.
Yeah.
Kind of feels like it's been 100 years. Kind of feels like it's been one, you know?
Mm-hmm.
There's little things that just bring back the memories. You know, Christmas, holidays, kids' birthdays. It was just her last birthday at the end of May, and we do a balloon release. So we always have a tradition on our birthday to go get some balloons. We write a little love message and send them up to her. So
That's what's up.
every year, you know, keep the tradition.
Good for you, man. Yeah, it's dope. I definitely want to tap into sobriety, how you like navigated such an emotionally unstable situation and didn't pick up a bottle and get obliterated. I want to tap into the kids and kind of how they responded to everything and how they're doing now. But before we get into those things, man, like what's the relationship with her family like? Because obviously she had parents that knew you. I'm assuming you're a part of their life. You guys are intertwined and stuff. And obviously, like, you know, your stepdaughter. What was that stuff like when everything unfolded?
I have a good relationship with her parents. So kept in contact a lot. They would come down here. They would fly us up, send pictures. Now, the kids have their own cell phones, so they're directly talking to them a bunch more. So I'm not a part of it, but they're still in their lives heavily. And Kiara, she did go live with her dad. But we saw her as much as we could, and we tried to adapt.
Yeah.
The kids, in the beginning, they didn't know kind of what was going on, especially my son. He was 2.5.
Yeah.
So it was in a godsend, like, that they were young enough that, you know, they don't remember, but Kiala, you know, she
She was about 14
was
at the time?
14. And her mom was her best friend. So
Especially as your oldest, your daughter now is about to turn 14.
yeah,
So it's like that age and knowing how mentally aware she is and how, you know, developed she is and kind of emotional status that she's at, bro. Like,
couldn't imagine. Like, I'm so proud of her. Like, we're going up this weekend to celebrate her, and, you know, she could have gone down the wrong path easily, like we all do.
I think it's easy to to fall into a deep depression.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
And that depression kind of turns into an ongoing, like long-term, like self-loathing kind of like pitiful existence, right? Like it fucking
self-medicating
yeah, for sure, man.
sometimes, you know, like,
Especially as a kid, man.
oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah, it's huge, man. So she ended up going back up to Oregon and doing college, and
She actually stayed out here, finished up high school out here and living with her dad. So it was a couple years, I believe 2 or 3. And then she went up to Oregon.
Okay.
She's been up there for a little while, but just finishing up, and she's probably going to stay up there.
you guys are going up to congratulate.
Yeah.
and that's what's up, dude.
Yeah.
That's hella dope. And the kids get to see grandma and grandpa up there?
Yeah.
Okay.
So grandma and grandpa, all their cousins on that side. So
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
That's dope, man.
Be a good little trip.
So here you are. Shit unfolds. You're 4 months sober.
Yeah.
How? How do you not fucking detonate?
I don't know. Like, I think, you know, I have to kind of believe in a higher power a little bit too, because I know I had addictive personality. I'm a bartender, work in Old Town. You know, I went down that rabbit hole, and that's why I needed to get sober. And
That's funny. That's a crazy story for so many people. I think there's so many people that can relate to that exact
Oh, yeah.
scenario where it's like, yo, the place and the poison all attributed to me not wanting to be a part of that anymore.
yeah,
Yeah, as well.
and it was the kids. It's the kids still. You know, I don't have to do AA meetings all the time and stuff. I just have that strong will because of them. And now that it's been 9 years too, I think it's like that cockiness in me. Like, I ain't gonna break that. You know, like I got this far.
Yeah.
Like, still bartending, you know. If I have to strata test something, I will. But when I do, it's like I don't even enjoy it. I don't want it. You know, so I just don't have that urge.
Yeah.
Luckily it left me. I tell the kids I work with, I guess I partied enough. So but yeah, I guess my rock bottom was enough for me. And yeah, I really don't want to ever go back to that Dallas. So
Yeah.
I think
Yeah, it's interesting. I think early in sobriety too, like oftentimes you live it, you know, a day at a time. Sometimes it's a minute at a time.
Oh, yeah.
You know, depending on what your addiction level is like, you
Right.
know, and how much you use that as like a crutch to get through your life. But yeah, I'm the same way, man. Like I've been sober for so long that I no longer live it like a day at a time. You know,
Yeah.
now I'll go months without even thinking about it, and then there will be like a situation or a scenario or, you know, someone that's drinking around me, and I'm like, you know, I'll get triggered, and I'm like, all right, dog, I'm just out.
Right.
Like, just gonna remove myself from the situation.
And I think I was more addicted to the opioids, you know?
Oh, yeah.
And then I drank on it. So I think that was more my issue, and the alcohol was just making it worse.
Yeah.
But, you know, just stopping both in general. And you know, I see those people, I've been around those people that, you know, they need to hit that AA every day or twice a day. Or, you know, they couldn't be like me and be a bartender still. But, you know, those are the people I want to help, though. You know, like, because I don't know what that urge is anymore. So I want to get to my level. Like, you know, like, wait a minute, hangover in 9 years? That is amazing. Like, I used to have the worst.
Oh, it's the best feeling ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, not having to fucking muscle through something, dude. I'm like, yo, I need like 4 Egg McMuffins and a 20-minute power nap, dude.
Pint of Gatorade.
Oh, dude, that shit's the worst. Yeah, man, it's tough. It's tough being still in the environment because you still see it, right? Like,
Yeah.
you still see it. You're like, damn, man. Like, I want to help.
I see it with a lot of coworkers, and it's funny because since I've been there, I could see when they're drinking on the job. I could see if, you know, they come a little loose to the job.
for sure.
I could see it all because I did it all, right?
Oh, yeah.
And you know, I just heard a buddy got a DUI. You know, he's going hard, and it's just like, I'm there to catch him, but just like, you know, you can't tell him what to do. So, you know, they know I'm sober, they support me, but I'm just there to catch them. I've had friends that have called me, you know, at 3 a.m. telling me they need to stop or whatnot, and I'm there to help. And some of them might still be drinking, and maybe they just need to stop for a little while. But I'm not there to judge. We all have our demons. We all have our history, our baggage. I just want to help if they ask for it.
That's dope. Yeah, it's cool to have no expectations. I think that's like a issue with some of the sobriety stuff. Is when people start their journey, they're like embarrassed if they fuck up. They don't want to be accountable to somebody else because if they do, then that person's going to judge them. I think that's too like one of the parts that's maybe like unattractive about AA and shit is that people feel like they have to, believe in God or have some type of relationship with God. They have to completely cut all these people out of their life. They have to follow this, book of rules and things if they want to be successful. And that's not your path. And that's not my path, right? My journey was quite a bit different. I only go to AA if I get really thirsty and I'm starting to feel like a little rocky.
Right.
If I want to support somebody else who's starting their journey and they need like somebody to maybe step into an AA meeting with them, or if I just need somebody to help like realign my train of thought. Those are the times that I go. But honestly, I don't go out of a consistent necessity. I go out of like bursts of, hey, I need somebody to help realign my strategy here, and what I'm doing. But AA, man, definitely is not for everybody, and I think that's something that people struggle with when they're finding sobriety because they think that's the only way to get sober.
Right.
Like I have to do it like this, or I have to go to counseling, or I have to do that. For you and me, like I was kind of the same as you, man. When I went sober, people are like, "Hey, do you want to get fucked up?" I'm like, "Yes, I do." I want to take a bong rip, like I want to take an edible, like I want to drink a beer. But if these kids get sick in the middle of the night and I have to take them to the hospital, I can't be faded, bro. Like I got responsibilities, I got shit to do. Right? Like I have to drop them off at school. I got to pick them up. And thankfully I was able to prioritize those responsibilities over my addiction. It took a long time to get there, but eventually I was like, yo, this is fucking winning. Like no matter what happens, I'm cool, bro. Like if I get pulled over, I'm not fucked up. I'm not doing anything wrong, man. Like this is winning. So yeah, I think that, I think now like being a support for people who are trying to find sobriety, man. And I'm kind of the same as you. Like, yo, I'm not pushing it on you. Like if you're ready, you're ready. I got your back. If you're not ready, I'm not going to, like, who am I to judge, bro? I'm not going to cast judgment on you. Like, I know what it's like, man. I've been the guy that sets, these goals. I'm not going to drink for a year. And then, like, a day and a half later, I'm like, oh, God, I fucked up. I'm a loser.
Right.
But.
Yeah, I wasn't a big AA person either. I think they might just like they push the steps hard, and that's where it's like everybody has a different path. Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, those steps are important, but maybe you don't do them in that order, or maybe it's just you do stuff a different way. Yeah,
I mean, everybody got their own journey, man. You're right, and for me too, man. People are like, "Yo, you want to sponsor?" I'm like, "Bro, I got fucking 3 kids." I got 3 kids, man. I'm trying to be to bed by 9 o'clock every night. If I can, bro, like I want to be asleep at 9 o'clock.
Right.
And I want to be up at like 5 or 6 in the morning. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to answer a fucking call from somebody that I barely know that's struggling to get off booze or whatever, at 11:30, man. Like I'm down to be a support, but like on some selfish shit, like I gotta watch out for my own household too before I do any of that. You know what I mean? But what do you think that would be like if your kids ever start drinking or drugging, man? You think you'd know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just, haven't really had that talk yet, but, she's going into high school, so it's about to happen.
Yeah.
But I just keep an open communication, it's we have a very different relationship. I mean, I love them to death, of course. But you could say they're almost scared of me sometimes. And I would say that because of the single dad in me. I had to be the bad cop for so long. It was a lot of no's. It was a lot of had to do just for us, No, you can't have that candy. No, you can't have that toy. They heard no a lot, know, and they'll still, my son's still timid to come ask me for some V-Bucks or whatever because he knows usually the answer's no. Yeah. But they, that's the biggest thing I want to move forward with them becoming preteens and teenagers is really opening that communication. Kind of like how me and my mom have it now. Like, when you get in your late 20s, 30s and you and your mom know everything now, right?
Yeah.
I would like that earlier with them because they are older than they seem. There's so many times I have to be like, he's just 11, but from what we've gone through, he seems like he's 15 already, but that's also this world, like social media, but it's hard to navigate that. Kids on the internet, their whole life's on the freaking internet.
Dude, it's crazy.
Like
Yeah.
when we were 6, 7, 8, the only time 5, 6, 7, 8 we knew where our homies were, it was the bikes and skateboards outside the front of the house.
Fuck yeah.
You know, like
Yep.
that was it. Now it's like their whole life is on the internet. That's crazy.
Yeah, there's not a lot of desire. My 17-year-old wants to get out of the house a little bit more, but my other two, there's not like a huge desire to even leave the crib. You know what I mean? If they could like come out of their like dark hibernating cave, crush some food, and then go back to the cave,
right.
you know, and jump right back into Roblox or whatever they're
sure.
gaming, you know? Like I should probably be better at that because I don't even like snoop. I've
Right.
never looked through their phones or anything. But fuck, man.
I don't either. But that's the thing. I was telling my girlfriend is like, you know, my daughter's, she's done some crazy stuff a little bit, you know, for, you know, her friend might have brought a piercing gun to school and pierced their ears in the bathroom. But, you know, but I tell her, like, I give them a lot of trust. I give them a lot of leeway right now. And I guess that's me testing them. So if they mess that up, they're going to mess it up at the wrong time when they're in middle school and high school. And that's not the time to mess it up because that's when you want to go hang out with your friends and do all the activities. So really my plan with them is just to open communication up more and make sure that, you know, they're going down that right path.
How well would you say your kids know you? Like the real you? Yeah, fool, it's recorded.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's recorded.
I would say half maybe, you know, like they know I'm goofy, you know. Melania has to text me and my girlfriend, like I have friends over, make sure dad's not in his underwear, you know. They know I'm fun and goofy and I like to work and I love food. I would say they know a lot about me. They know more probably than I think, actually.
Yeah. They know that dark side of who you were that you left behind?
They really don't. They don't know that, which I'm very proud of. My son's been asking me questions kind of about that. Like, he asked me something about beer when I used to drink beer and stuff. And yeah,
Why do you think you're reluctant to share that?
I mean, they know I don't drink, and I just they kind of, my daughter has seen some other people, maybe friends, family, ex-girlfriend, you know, drink a lot.
Yeah.
And like what drunk is. So she saw what drunk is maybe at 10, 11, 12, and it kind of steered her away. She's like, I don't want to drink because she saw you can become a different person.
Oh, for sure.
So she's kind of seen that. And she hangs out with very straight edge friends. So, you know, I keep my eye, but my son's a little curious, you know, so about beer and whatnot, but I don't think he would even try to drink it if I offered him. So, yeah, but I will keep an eye on, you know, I think I was 14 when I took my first sip.
For sure.
So
I never drank. I went straight to smoking weed. Smoking weed was like my thing that like I started with. But the reason that I ask, especially like, do you think that if your kids were smoking or drinking, if you would know? There was a time that my wife asked me that, like when we first started dating, you know, and fuck, we got our 18-year anniversary on the 22nd. What's the date? 13th. Got time, baby. But she asked me, she was like, yo, if the kids were ever like smoking or doing drugs or, you know, drinking, do you think you would know? And I'm like, fuck yeah, dude. There's not a chance. There's nothing they could do that I wouldn't know. But since then to now, there's so much shit out there that I have no idea what it is. I'm like, dude, I don't know if I would know at all. I'm pretty in tune with them, so behaviorally, I'd probably be able to identify how they're acting. But damn, dude, it was pretty simple back then, you know?
Oh yeah.
There was some yay, there was some pills, there was some weed, there was some drink. Pretty much sums it up. You know, Molly and all that shit didn't even exist back then.
Right.
So I really worry, man. And so I do have super open conversations with my kids about like who I was, the dude that I left behind, like all the shitty decisions that I made, times that I fucked up that like landed me in jail and stuff. Like, dude, I tell them my whole story because I want them to understand how bad those decisions can fuck you up and what they can do for you. And also like they've never seen that side of me, right? Like I want them to know who I actually am. In some weird fucked up way, I think I told you about this. Like, I want my service, like when I have a funeral, like I want there to be so many fucking people there. I want people to grab my phone and go through it and look at every single person that's in there and contact them and say, hey man, come show out for Owen. Like if I had a contact and a communication and a relationship with anybody that felt real, I want them to come and check it out. And the reason being is because I want my kids to know that if you care about people, if you're passionate about connecting with human beings and shit, that you can make an impact on so many people in your life, right? And I never want there to be a time that somebody says something about me or is like, oh yeah, I remember when Owen did that, and them to feel all of a sudden like unsure, be like, that doesn't sound like my dad, or like, yo, like he did that, right? Like I never want to be a stranger to them. No, I always want them and my wife to feel like they knew me better than anybody, and they do, but they don't know that, you know what I mean? But I want them to always feel secure and be like, yo, I know him, I was connected to him, I do know that he lived a life outside of us, and these things seem like something he would do, or yeah, that was the dude that he was before he had us, you know what I mean?
Right. No, I agree. I'd probably, would start sharing stuff more with my daughter when she's seeing it in high school.
High school?
Yeah.
My daughter talks about that. She's like, yo, the bathroom, it's just all kids in there smoking and vaping and doing all sorts of shit, which, yeah, that's crazy, man.
Yeah, it's a different world.
I mean, it's high school, dude. It's everywhere. High school. But, I mean, also, the active shooter drills are quite a bit different than, like, earthquake drills where you just like stop, drop, and roll fire drills and stuff, Right. So things are quite a bit different, man. Are your kids in a school that does all that stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah? How's that make you feel?
I don't know. Worried,
Safer or unsafe?
I don't feel that they're that safe at school.
Yeah. For me, dude,
I don't trust other kids of how they've been raised,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. For me, it's more unsafe. Dude, I get like text messages like, hey, somebody's on school property. We got it under control. Police have been dispatched. Phoenix police is coming. I'm like, well, what the fuck now? I'm like stressing bullets. I'm like texting the girls, what's going on over there? And then they're like, okay, police have arrived on the scene. They're investigating, this strange civilian, whatever. I'm like, fucking and? Like I'm completely turning off anything else that I'm doing, work or whatever. I'm like, all right, dude, like, this is a dead stop for me. And then like an hour later, they're like, all right, cool, everything's resolved, nothing happened, Phoenix PD are gone. I'm like, bro, why even loop me in on that shit? You just stressed me out for an hour and a half,
No, that stuff's scary. I don't know what I'd do if all of a sudden I'm like, you see, it's their school, right?
Yeah.
But, I just want to teach my kids to stay on the right path, and even if you see it, hide, do what you got to do. But yeah, this is a scary world.
It's crazy as shit.
Scary world.
My girl's got something to say, like something negative to say about anybody. I'm like, yo, be cool as fuck to that person. If they seem like awkward or emotionally unstable and shit, like be extra cool.
Oh, the online bullying that's going on,
dude, I'm like, don't get put on like a random ass hit list or some shit. I'm more worried about that. My
son's been like over a haircut.
Oh yeah.
Like little things.
Oh yeah. Kids are fucking ruthless, bro. Ruthless. Yeah. I mean, how do you navigate all that shit, dude?
As best as you can.
Online communication? Like, are you talking to these guys like on a daily basis about what they're doing and what their day was like?
Yeah, I need to more.
It's funny. I've been thinking about that lately too, man, because oftentimes I'm so busy and caught up in shit, and this is happening, that's going on. I need to be here at this time. Sometimes I see the kids and I'm just like, what's up? And they're like, how was work? I'm like, great. Or not great. And I'm like, how was your day? And they're like, good. And then I like go and retreat, I'm like start to shower, decompress, change my gear, take the dogs out, water the things. I'm like, fuck, man. I should have dug in more.
Right.
Right? Like, how was your day? Good. And that's like an acceptable answer. Like, I know nothing about how they spent their time. Right. And so I think I could do a better job about being involved and active and asking like the right questions to extract the right information back in return. But it's tough, dude. Honestly, it's really fucking tough.
I agree. I mean, I work mainly nights, so I'll take them to school and the girlfriend picks them up. But by the time I get home, they're already sleeping, and and that's the thing. I need to be more, conversed in the day ride, but we all just woke up, we're still yawning and whatnot. So
for sure.
It's hard to be like, let's jump into life at 7:15 in the morning. But I need to get better. I need to get better at so many things. But I think, when you talk about it to other dads, like it brings it back out. Like that's what helps you. It's motivation. It's showering. It's just like, with not drinking, and you got to motivate yourself every day. So you need to push yourself into other boundaries with your kids. Get uncomfortable maybe and ask those weird questions that you don't even want to know. that I'm scared to do, but it's like we need to do that, you know.
You know what's funny, man? I try to get ahead of all that shit, man. I'm pretty easy to talk to, dude. Like I'm normally pretty cozy. Like I can kind of like hash out anything that seems like personal or personal or getting personable. But dude, like talking to my girls about like sex or periods, dude, I start to get like sweaty hands. I start to clam up. I'm like, baby, I need a bailout, bro. Like this is mad uncomfortable, bro.
Yeah.
It's really fucking uncomfortable. Like you actually have to practice about how you're going to go in there and like what information you want out there, right? So you get a kid on birth control because anything can happen. The last thing you want is a child to have, you know, young intercourse and get pregnant because you know you can't control a ton of shit.
Right.
You can direct and hopefully they apply themselves, but stranger things have happened. So you put them on birth control, and now is that like a green light that like you can have sex? Like some people misinterpret that shit. So conversations and clarity need to be had, man. Like pretty early and pretty clear.
Yeah. Yeah, that's that's the next step, that those talks. Probably avoiding it a little bit.
Dude, so my oldest daughter, 17, most of the kids in her grade are either actively having sex, have already had sex, or like experimenting leading up to sex, right? All of them drink on the weekends. All of them have smoked weed, but don't actively smoke weed. Like drinking's their thing, which drinking's 10 times worse than weed.
Yeah.
My personal opinion. I mean,
No.
I'm not a fucking doctor or anything, but if my daughter was like, I'm going to get drunk or I'm going to get high, I'd be like, oh, God. I know one is way better than the other.
Yeah, I'm fine with, you know, plants that come out of the earth.
Yeah, dude.
But yeah, that's where it's even, you could talk about, you know, our profession of hospitality and you go into bartending. Like, I love it to death because of the people you meet but you know.
And you hate it to death because of the people you meet.
That too.
Yeah, dude.
But it's like when you think about it, I'm just serving really good poison to people.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I stop myself, but you know, people always laugh. I use the line, don't get high on your own supply. That's why I bartend. It's still a demand, I guess. And
dude, it's insane.
But yeah, it's it's like it's being sober, being the dad, just getting older in general. Like I just don't even want to be in that crowd part of like it's
yeah.
I'd rather be like, let's go to Dave and Buster's and play some video games, you know?
Yeah. It's crazy, man. Oldest daughter or my middle daughter's 14 now, about to start teaching her how to drive. That's like a whole nother experience right there, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm about to jump into that in a year or so. Like, but Melania's asking questions like, "Oh, why are those lights always red?" Like,
that's so dope.
She's asking questions, so she's interested in it. Yep. And I think like one of her friends drives in a parking lot with her parents, so she's learning. But I got her one of those scooters, you know, electric supers everybody has or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh man, you should see in Gilbert, dude. They are everywhere. This kid got hit and. It's like really bad. So that's what I'm scared about. So she got into a accident with friends. Luckily, she was the third bike and just scraped her knee. But the first bike of her friends, like head-on collision with another bike. And I guess he was bleeding. His head was bleeding. Like they had to get the paramedics. He missed school. Like it shook her up. She doesn't ride her own bike anymore, like drive it. She'll ride with her friends on the back, but it shook her up.
Equally dangerous, man.
Yeah, but it's dangerous. So like that, my son was riding it for a little while, and you know, he's the one I think I got to worry about. He's got the balls, and all of a sudden, you know, my daughter's like, "Oh, Easton's at Santan Mall." I'm like, "What?
How far of a ride is that?"
In a car, that's 5 minutes, like 7 minutes. So he's like a 10-minute ride for him on the scooter.
I mean, dude, honestly, that independence might be good for him, man.
And I was like, but it was near Christmas time, so now I'm thinking trafficking, you know, like that's just as a parent. But
yeah, do you think
it was like as a parent, like, okay, he's got balls, but then I'm scared, you know, if you ever disappear, I would lose my mind.
Do you think you have a heightened sense of awareness or like fear as a result of what happened with your ex? Or with
I would say
your
both.
Previous fiance?
You know, yeah.
That's gonna be hard, huh? Like watching your kids drive and shit.
Yeah, just Kayla, she doesn't drive.
Still. Mm-hmm. Fear.
Yeah.
Fuck.
I remember my daughter used to tell me she was afraid of driving. The only person that she trusted driving was me for a long time. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think it's just more that I even think back like on my stupidity, and it's just accidents can happen
Yeah.
so fast and be so detrimental. Like, that's what people don't realize. Like, the easiest thing we're doing is texting while driving. Man, I put my phone away. Like, it's crazy. Like that.
Yeah.
And those commercials that they had, like that promotion they were doing, those got me, man. It was just like, hey, oh yeah, they couldn't finish their text because they crashed and died. And it's just like, yeah, what does hey, what's up mean? Like, like the smallest thing about it.
Yeah. I mean, in the moment, dude, just people not thinking it through, you know what I mean?
No, not at all. You're never gonna think like that all the time.
I think for most of us that haven't experienced a life-changing event like that, it's pretty common for people to think, well, it'll never happen to me.
True. Yeah.
Right? And that's just, you kind of bank on that like it's not going to happen to me. Statistically speaking, I should be all right.
Yeah.
Which is fucking a stupid way to think about it.
Yeah. No, totally.
How you drive?
Like an old man now.
Yeah. 10 and 2.
And I used to have the little, Acura with exhaust and spoiler and speeding tickets, and now it's 10 miles per hour over, 10 and 2.
Yep.
Phone on the little thing.
Yeah. I never drive fast. My wife's a pretty fast driver. She's like, yo, this is how you drive in Mexico City. I'm like, bro, welcome to Arizona, dog. Like, we don't.
It's almost the same.
Yeah. Well, now, dude. But I'm like, fuck, I drive so slow. I'm not like an angry driver, though. If people are like trying to like merge into my lane, I'm like, I'll slow down, let them in, man. I'm a pretty passive cat, dude.
I just don't go under the speed limit. That's what.
Well, that's dangerous as shit,
that's
too.
So
that
dangerous because now
accidents.
people are swerving around you and stuff. Yeah, that's where it's like, that's
Yeah.
more dangerous. But people, like, it's crazy. Like, I would say car accidents are still a trigger. See a bad one.
Yeah.
You just kind of think, like, I mean, shit, hopefully their life didn't get turned upside down. But, that's the thing is, like, even if it doesn't get into a fatal or anything, it's still annoyance. You got to get a new car, deal with insurance, blah, blah, blah. Like, people just need to be more careful.
Yeah, it's a fast world we're living in, and people are pretty inconsiderate right now, dude. Like the state of the world, people are like, yo, fuck you, me first. Which is a mentality, which is why I'm cool taking a backseat. Like, all right, Doug, go.
No,
see what
yeah.
happens.
That's what I said, especially like when I started watching like Walking Dead, right? Mm-hmm. I'm like, oh, see, I'm the motherfucker that's just gonna sit here and watch all you run into death.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna come up with a plan. But you're all gonna freak out, trample each other, and I'm just gonna be like, all right, now that you're out of the way.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy, man. The scooters have kind of like subsided in the area where I stay, and now they have the Suron bikes, like the two-wheel electric motorcycles, but those things go like 60, bro. Like you can unlock them or chip them and they go like 60, but I think most of them go like 35 to 45 or something, which is a crazy fast speed, bro, especially for a kid. And I see kids doing the wheelies and doing their whole shit, right? Which I totally would do if I was that age. I absolutely would be that fucking kid.
Right.
But there's a shorty that went to school over by where my kid's going actually next year, and he like blew through a intersection, and basically he T-boned the truck, and it was fatal, and he's just a fucking kid, man.
Right.
So I think, yeah, dude, there's always a risk, but also it's like weighing that factor of like, okay, do you try to shield your kids from everything? Because we did all that shit, bro. Like, I grabbed my skate, bro, and I was gone. Like, I would be gone the entire day. My mom had no idea where I was at.
We lived on the biggest hill. We would just book it.
Straight down it, right?
Road rash home, like, just do whatever.
So I don't know, man. Yeah, it's that fine balance, right, between like communicating and laying out some responsible expectations and hoping that they apply them. I guess like discipline when necessary and to what degree is up to the parent. But yeah, it's fucking terrifying. Watching my daughter drive away with my other two kids in the car, and they're going to, grab some coffee or something. They're like, oh, we're going to have fun. We're going to listen to music. I'm like, dude, fucking pay attention.
Yeah.
Please pay attention. Like, dude, eyes on the road. She's like, I know how to drive. I'm like, it's not about you.
It's defensive.
Like, you're only half of it. Like, keep your eyes aware, man. Like, dude, crazy. In the last, like, month, 3 people have blown stop signs where we're at, like, just 45 right across. And I'm like, you see? You see? Like, it's fucking crazy how quick something can happen.
And that's the thing. It's like back to we did it though, right? So it's open communication. You know they're gonna try some stuff.
Oh yeah.
So you hope that you kind of it's not as bad, or but you're there, and
or even if it is, you hope that it's not
yeah,
irreparable.
we all did it. That's the thing. I'm driving down friggin' Elliott, and there's two boys on the little super, but they're in the street, and one's literally wheeling it, and I'm going 25 because I want to stay 300 feet back, but I'm just watching. I'm like, this dumbass kid could get run over, but then I'm like, yeah, that was me.
That's me and you.
Yeah,
right there on that fucking bike.
Dude,
That's exactly. That's
So
exactly.
it's
us.
like so funny. You're just like, isn't parenting calling the kettle black like almost all of it?
Pretty fucking much. Yeah. And honestly, yeah, it actually is, dude. Because there's so many times where I'm like, little motherfucker, I was him.
I did that.
I was him.
No,
that was me.
How many times my mom's like, huh? I'm telling her the story. She's like, huh? That's payback, right?
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yep. Sound familiar?
yeah, sounds really familiar.
It really is tough, man. There's been a couple times through my parenting that I like hit up my mom and dad, and I'm like, yo, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Like it just
No,
clicked.
yeah.
It just clicked, 30
Yeah.
years late, but I understand it now.
But they did that to theirs, and ours
Yeah.
will do it later. But it's crazy. But yeah, I just think being present with my kids until they're gone is the biggest thing. Being present, giving them the right tools, loving them, showing them how beautiful this world actually is.
Yeah.
Besides all the religion and political bullshit going on.
Mm-hmm.
And just, be a good person. That's it.
That's dope.
That's like my biggest thing is I just want them to be good people in this world. Do better. Every day be 1% better. Leave this place better than you found it. Because we're not, This world, I feel bad for their kids,
It's crazy, man. I was talking to my oldest yesterday. We came back to the house. We were bumping some music. I turned the car off. We were talking about a kid who's we were talking about a kid that she knows whose father just got gunned down. 5 shots, never got a goodbye. There wasn't a strong relationship, but that's neither here nor there. The dad's gone. And so I was talking to her, and I'm like, yo, what would that be like for you if I got gunned down? Like, what would that scenario be like? Say it's some road rage or some shit that I can't even control, right? And something happens. Like, how would you navigate through that with your mom and with your sisters? And she's like, man, I would struggle. Like, I would really struggle to like survive, to like find a way to continue. And I'm like, man, what do you think I would want for you? Like, what do you think I would want for you if I wasn't able to be here? And that was interesting, like, to hear her perspective of like what she thinks I would value versus the things that I would value. You know? And she said a lot of that. She was like, I know you would want me to be a good person, and you would want me to have a family. And I'm like, yes, both of those things. And she's like, you would probably want me to be successful. I'm like, success is a mind state. That's not a destination. Success is in the eye of the beholder. You can have far fewer things than other people and be much more successful, but that's up to you if you're successful, right? It's not a location, it's not a destination, it's not a person, it's an emotion, it's a mind state. But I was like, I just want you to be happy, man. I want you to be fulfilled. I want you to enjoy life. And it's the same thing that you were just saying, like, this world is fucked up. It's crazy. But you can focus on all sorts of negative shit every day. Like, focus on the beauty of the world, man. Find something that you love and invest in it, man. Like, find people and help them create a better world for us to live in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, I don't know, man. It was cool being able to talk to her and connect with her on that. But it was interesting to ask what she would think I would want.
I mean, that's a deep question. That's deep.
Fuck yeah.
I doubt my daughter would be able to answer that right now. She would to some extent.
Yeah.
But
yeah. My oldest has some pretty aggressive emotional intelligence. My middler is like insane, like book smart, mad intelligent. And my youngest is still like super free, bro. She's just like the happiest, most like outstanding kid to be around. You know what I mean? So when I have intellectual conversations like that, typically it's with my oldest because she's like a little bit more like in tune. She's experienced more, But I wouldn't expect to be able to have an open conversation like that with my 11-year-old. I probably wouldn't be able to get a clarity response the way that my oldest gave me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I don't know, that type of shit, man. That's how I feel closest to my kids, when I'm able to have like open conversations with them and shit like that, you know, and just talk to them the way that you and I talk. Because I think that by keeping it real with them, I get the real them in return.
Really?
You know, I can disarm them and they're okay being honest and direct with me. But what do you think? What do you think you would want your kids to say about you if they were to like describe you as a father? What would you want them to say about you?
There's a loving, caring there, you know. Unfortunately, you know, my father wasn't really in my life as much. My stepdad was there more.
Yeah.
So, you know, I do make it a point to go to their assemblies or whatever I can.
Well, I miss one of those fucking things.
Don't work at night or work at nights. I can hit those, you know.
Yeah. They're awful, huh? Dude, they are the worst. I talked to my wife about that. I'm like, yo, these fucking high school musicals, bro, are the worst.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, you want to come to the little music show? I'm like, dude, I'll be there. Can't wait. I'm going to sit way in the back.
But, you know, they, I kind of need to, I want to pry and see, you know. I'm going to maybe ask them or indirectly ask them and see what they think, you know, because it's a great question.
It's cool, man. Like I ask them often. I'm just like, yo, how would you describe me? Like, yo, how would you tell somebody what mom does for work? You know what I mean? Just random ass questions to find out like what they actually know about us or would say about us. It's fucking weird, man. When my daughter did a podcast here with 3 of her friends for Father's Day, we just wrote like random questions in a bucket, and they all like drew a question and kind of talked about what that was. And I was like, man, this is crazy, like insightful, because it was hard to get past all the likes, but the information that was shown and displayed was so cool, man. I'm like, wow, this is deep. It's impactful. It's real.
Yeah.
It's honest.
Right.
They didn't feel like they were on display. They felt like they were just like talking with friends. And so
Right.
some of the questions were prying for some of that information too. And I'm like, man, that's crazy, because I would probably never ask those questions just in a one-on-one setting, you know?
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. And that's where, you know, I think that's the next step I want to get with them is it's kind of the next step in my life that I'm promoting to myself. You know, Easter egg, my podcast that I want to start,
dog.
and just them is being real, because everybody's just fake. It's fake news. You want to say something to make someone happy, just being real. And even if it hurts your feelings, it's like, it's still a little comforting because it's the truth, you know, it's real.
Yeah.
Instead of just, I could just say, oh yeah, you know, make you feel good, but it's not the truth. So just kind of being real, because I've seen all those, you know, in high school when people are fake and they get it, you know.
It's terrifying to be authentic. It's scary to be different.
True.
It takes a lot of courage for someone to say, I don't agree with that, or that's wrong, or I don't appreciate that, in a respectful way, right? It's like one way or the other.
Right.
You know what I mean? But if you're going to like toe the line in somewhere in the middle, man, like, yeah, that's a delicate fucking balance, you know? But also as a kid, they didn't even know what the fuck they like.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It's a crazy just like how kids like at 3 just know how to lie right away.
Oh, yeah.
And you're like, how?
Oh, yeah.
How did you learn this, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's just kind of instinctual.
If I
which
say
is
this, I
scary.
can get what I want. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It's tough, man. Yeah, dude, I've caught my kids up in some shit, man, and pry until I get the truth, and I'm like, yo, thank you for being honest. Like, no punishment. You know what I'm saying? Like, keep it real, man. I can work with that.
Right.
Like, I can adapt and work with the truth. Lying and shit. And my youngest, bro, she has no problem. Dude, she'll take it to her fucking grave. Like, I know for a fact she did it. And she's like, nope, it wasn't me. I'm serious. I swear. I'm like, dude, you're the only one. You're the only
like video
one.
proof? Nope.
Yeah. Oh, shit. Yeah, that's crazy.
That's where, I learned it from Ted Lasso. I don't know if you ever watched it.
I fucking love Ted Lasso.
I love it. But like when they have an altercation or they don't like something, like the coaches, they just literally call each other out. Mm-hmm. And, you know, it might not be something you want to hear. It might be a awkward 10-minute conversation. But once you both get it off your chest, you know, shake hands, get over it. It's not the biggest problem in the world, right? And you move on.
In my experience, it creates a foundation of trust.
And that too.
Like real
Oh, yeah.
camaraderie, right? Like honesty and someone being direct who's not just going to tell you what you want to hear, because we all want to be liked, right? Like the majority of
Right.
there's a couple people who are bulls in china shops and don't care what anybody thinks about them. But the majority of people, I think, want to be liked, right? You're looking for acceptance, you're looking for validation, you're looking for confirmation, and you want people to want to be around you and shit. And by being, combative or disagreeing or just going with the flow, you kind of, you're either avoiding those situations or you run the risk of maybe not being liked. That's tough, man, especially as a kid. As an adult, like it's less dramatic. Like I don't really fucking have any friends, outside of the podcast and chilling with the family, bro.
Right.
Like you're not gonna catch me kicking it with people outside of work, man. I allocate that time to the fam. You know what I mean? But as a kid, man, like high school friends, you think that's actually what life is about.
Oh,
So they think that's the way that the world actually works, which is
everything right now is the biggest thing in the world.
Oh yeah, yeah. One thing that I do is I ask questions and I listen. I don't want to fucking live high school again, man. That shit was whack. Like, not at all interested. But it's super important to my kids, and that's their whole existence. And so I sit there and I endure the conversations and listen to what's going on. And I listen for kids' names. I want to find out who their names are and who they're spending time with. And if they're going to be spending time with kids, I'm like, yo, bring them to the house. I want to see them. I want to meet them. I want an introduction. If you think you're getting in the car with somebody, like I want to know what they drive, how they drive, where they live. Like I want all those details. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I need to be more like you.
I mean, maybe maybe a little over the top, but there's certain things that I'm like unwavering on. You know what I mean?
It's yeah.
And so I'm down to give them a little bit of freedom, but also within respect of my boundaries.
Yeah. I got yeah.
So I don't know, man.
Because I think if it's always no and it's very strict, they're just gonna rebel.
Oh yeah.
Then you're
Absolutely.
just gonna have a problem. So you have to let the leash go a little bit, but that communication is again.
Thing is, too, man, they're gonna fuck up, bro.
They will. They still do it.
They're gonna fuck up, bro.
That's
crazy.
where it's like I want to teach them to own it, say sorry. We all do it.
That shit came late in life for me, bro.
Oh, that came like 2 years ago.
Yeah, I was talking to my wife about that, bro, because we've been married 18, and I just started being like that husband.
Yeah.
That real husband, bro. Like 5 years ago, maybe like 3 years ago. If like I'm talking about like going all in and like shedding all that bullshit, bro. It's fucking tough. It's tough to be honest.
No, and that's how I am with Christina, and I think, we've been together 3 years, and like we fought, but they're like minimal fights where we might be mad at each other for like 2 hours. Like it's not like you're mad at someone for a week or something, but it's because we do communicate really well. And yeah, we're not perfect. We need to communicate better, but like we're best friends. We got to tell each other everything,
Yeah.
even if you don't like it, you have to hear it, or it's better for them to get it off their chest.
Do you think that the quick loss of your late fiance like helped make you a better communicator and
Yeah,
more
totally.
impactful in this relationship?
That's where like, yeah, 100%. And I share my story with guests at the bar, with coworkers, because I want just people not to feel sorry for me. I don't need a sorry. I don't need a good job. You're doing great. Pat on your back. I just want them to get out of this mundane, everyday BS that we get sucked into. Me including. Mm-hmm. I would say the last time this whole world took a step back and shed a tear was when Kobe and his daughter passed away. It affected everybody. Even if you didn't like basketball, it was a daughter and her dad. It affected people. Everybody shed a tear. And everybody kind of realized, like, it was just they were on the way to a basketball game. It was, simple everyday life. He flies a helicopter every day to save time so he can spend more time with his family. Like, that was his whole purpose, was to not sit in LA traffic so he can spend more time with his family. But that's like, with my late fiance, we had problems. We were together 8 years. We fought about finances, especially when it's like one's an at-home parent and one's a full work. You resent each other.
That's a tough
And we
fucking
resented
balance,
each other a lot sometimes, and we didn't have the best communication. And I'll tell people, like, today, I don't give a shit about money and bills. Like, I'll make more. I'll get them paid. I'll get you your money. I'll do what, but it's not, everybody thinks, that's what life is about: money, power, American dream. And I lost that. My thing is time. Time is so priceless.
That's some old wise man shit right there, dude.
It's crazy,
Yeah.
though. Like,
The way you understand it now?
time,
Yeah.
how much we've wasted. And supposedly, I feel old, but I'm a young 37. But, like, we've wasted so much time.
Oh, yeah. 100%. I got a LinkedIn. I set it up like fucking almost 10 years ago, bro. I don't even remember why I set it up. I never use it. Not a stab at LinkedIn or whatever. Platform's amazing. But I just don't use mine. And when I set it up, there's like, you can put like a quote up there. And the quote that I put up there was, the best things in life are not things. And I stand by that shit, bro.
No, yeah.
The best things in life aren't things at all, man. They're the people that you love, being able to spend time with them, being able to connect with them, and honestly, just being able to be present.
That's the biggest thing is I've always, growing up, parents always took us on a summer family vacation, if it was to Hawaii, Mexico, wherever, grew up traveling. So grew up loving to see other places, other cultures, but became a dad at 23. So, I had a single dad at 27. So I didn't really get to go many places.
Yeah.
And now that, I'm doing better financially and in a better place and, established with the fam, and I now go on 3 to 4 trips a year, like we're hitting Oregon again, but we hit Oregon, we hit Washington, we hit California, we hit Texas, we hit Mexico, and we're planning Thailand and Panama and futures. And it's just like, that's kind of what I want to do, is just go see the beautiful world and
Experiences bring people together, man.
the cultures and the people.
Yeah. I've heard Thailand's off the hook.
I hear also. I can't wait.
Bill, I see you. I know I got to wrap up. I know this. He gets a red one up there that says wrap up, and he's like super pissed at me because I just keep chopping it up. I just got like 2 more things real quick. You said that Pops wasn't like super involved, but that your stepdad was kind of more of an active part. Do you think that the lack of presence of your Pops, or maybe not getting what you had hoped to out of that relationship, makes you a better father?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It makes me want to be more present, I'm actually present, do more meaniful stuff.
Oh, that's fucking it. Yeah,
Because
dude, I like that.
even, so say when I was 5 or 6 or 7, I, every other weekend with dad, but I was at his clothing store, and yeah, we'd go to 3rd Street Promenade, Santa Monica Pier, the beach, but not as much, and it's just like, if you're gonna, that time we were present, we should have done more, right? Because then he realized that when I moved from California to Colorado at 11, and then now you're barely gonna see me unless I fly out for Christmas or whatever.
Yeah.
But because of that, and maybe also that my stepdad was great, amazing. He took me and my sister under a wing and did everything, bought us cars and helped pay for college and whatever we needed, and he still did in our lives. And I think, that helped me too, just with Kiala and I remember calling my stepdad and saying, hey, how'd you do it? Like, I know I was a little shit as a kid. How did you do it? And his advice was patience. And it really helped. Like, calling him and asking him, how did you do it with me? Because I know I was a little shit. And so I just want to be there. Like, I don't want to be like, oh, yeah, my dad was awesome. He made money and we went on vacation. But I want to be there. Because they're going to be gone soon. Like, yeah, they'll still need me in their late 20s and 30s, of course, because I still need my parents. But, like, they're going to have their own lives, right? So I got, 8 more years?
I don't know. Let's not get into that yet.
Yeah.
Fuck.
So
I don't even want to think about that shit yet. Yeah.
See, that's where you don't want to think about that, but then it's like the sex talk. I'm like, but no, it's,
Well, the next time we have a conversation, bro, I'm sure we'll be one step closer to both of us facing our fears.
Okay.
Because reality hits, man.
It does.
Dude, I'm glad you're back in my life, man. I'm glad that we were able to reconnect. I'm sorry to hear about everything that's happened to you. I am pleased to hear that you are still practicing sobriety, that you found somebody to share your life with that you love, that's a great mother to your children, man. I'm glad to hear that your kids are still doing well, man. Like, all of these things make my heart swell, bro.
Thank you.
I'm happy for you, bro. Thanks for coming on the show. Thanks for
Yeah.
being a part of this.
Of course.
What I learned from you on this show that I'm going to carry into my life and the way that I am applying my time spent with my family is something that I already knew, but for some reason didn't just put two and two together, is that quality over quantity. Right? So
Yeah.
I'll make sure that the time that we spend together is that much more impactful and meaningful. My ask for you, man, let your kids in. Let them know who Dallas really is, bro.
I like that. No, I need to. Because, I mean, I was going to kind of bring this up earlier, too, and I know we got to wrap this up, but, like, when you said, do your kids know you? My question back was, do I know myself? Because I've only been sober 9 years.
That's tough.
I was other Dallas for 27. So
Yeah.
I'm still learning who I am every day and still growing to be a better person, but I'm still learning what I truly want in life.
Dude.
And not just...
I've had endless conversations. Me and Kiefer connect on this shit all the time, too, because part of that is you don't know who you are without that shit in your life.
Right.
But I think letting your guard down and being vulnerable with your kids and saying, I'm still finding out, too, at this age, will make them feel more comfortable about not knowing who they are and finding out who they are at their age.
I like...
You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, totally.
now you're able to, like,
I like
connect
that.
on some
Yeah,
shit.
You're
So.
right.
Not to, like, parent you or your
No,
kids or
no,
any of that
not at
shit,
all.
but it's been successful in my household. Do with that information
Right,
what
no.
you will.
And we
but
all use it.
that's what's up.
We all need help. You know, all little stuff. Look at you. You're like the best dad, but you still learn a little something every day. We learn.
Appreciate you,
That's all you can do.
Thank you, Doug.
I appreciate you.
Thanks for being here. Stay tuned. My boy's going to be dropping some heat and potentially playing around with his own podcast in the near future, which, you know, I'm obviously going to be a participant and celebrate with him, man. For those listening, tuned in, thanks for watching. Thanks for checking it out. You know what to do. Like, subscribe, tell a friend, tell a mom, tell a dad, tell a kid. Until next time, stay dope. Thank you for joining us on the Dope Dad Podcast. If you like what you heard, be sure to share it with a friend. You can support the show by giving a like, sharing, and subscribing, and you can find us on YouTube or wherever you're getting your podcast fix. If there's content you'd like to hear more of, please leave a comment. We'll make sure we try to get it in the show. Continue to tune in for more dope guests and real conversation.